Hi everyone, Azriel Knight here, and welcome to day 17 of a fortnight of film, a vlogging marathon where I get to shoot a different roll of film every single day. And if for some reason this is your first visit to my channel, first off, hi, welcome. And second, it might seem a little bit weird that I'm calling it a fortnight of film when a fortnight's 14 days, and this is day 17. Well, this was a Kickstarter campaign brought to you by dozens of generous donors, and I actually reached one of my stretch goals, which was to do 3 extra days. And here I am at the final day. It has been one heck of a ride. It has been unreal. The emotions that I've gone through, like elation, panic, and I don't say those lightly either. It has been a roller coaster of emotion. It has been a lot of work. Before this all started, I actually had several other days where I had to prep, mix chemicals together in anticipation, buy extra supplies, and just plain old plan. Where was I going to go? What was I going to shoot with? How was I going to work out the logistics of scheduling? For example, as I record this, I just finished editing day 15 for my Kickstarters and patrons, and day 14 is going to be published to the public at noon today. It is currently 10 to 10. And if you haven't seen it, day 14 is by far the worst day. So feel free to have a view and probably a laugh at my expense. It also makes it a little bittersweet because while I'm finishing off the marathon today, while I'm finishing this great accomplishment, I'm going to get a whole bunch of comments about about the events of day 14. The day that shall not be named. Anyway, sorry about that. So what am I going to shoot today? Well, if you watched yesterday's episode, then you saw me shoot evening photography with Kodak T-Max P3200, and I mentioned at the end of the episode that I will be shooting triacs and going to the Calgary Tower. I think, now it didn't work out this way, I'm not that poetic, but I think it works out really well that on the very last day that I shoot my favorite film, my first love, if you will, with my first love of medium format, and my first love of the city. When I moved to Calgary in 1998, I thought the Calgary Tower was the coolest thing ever. I came from Edmonton, and Edmonton's very, very square. There aren't a lot of character buildings, so to speak. And in 1998, there weren't nearly as many buildings towering over the Calgary Tower. So it seemed very metropolis-like. And if you look at my photography and you look at all my Dutch angles and you watch the 1927 silent film Metropolis, there are definitely some parallels there, and I would say a main influence on how I compose my images. So that'll be another advantage today, is that I'll be able to shoot from the top down. I'll even be able to shoot, hopefully, some of the places that I've been to from above at a distance, which I think is really cool. Now, I'm only working with the 200 millimeter, which is a 100 millimeter equivalent in terms of if it was a 35 millimeter camera. So I'm not going to be super zoomed in. However, I will be working with a large negative, and I do plan on taking artistic license and cropping in when it's appropriate. What will be the biggest challenge today? Well, I think there'll be 2 major challenges today. The first is that due to 2020, I had to book an appointment in order to go to the tower. It means that I have a limited amount of time, probably less than an hour, and there might be some restrictions. There might be some literal red tape. I might not be able to set up my camera in the same way. Or maybe they've got a one-way road and you can only go around one way and then that's it and you're done. So this might be a total bust. And challenge number 2 is that it is almost whiteout conditions right now. Out of all the days it snowed during this marathon, it is the worst today. The roads are slick. The visibility is low. Those of you who are not used to white winters are going to be entertained by these photos. I guarantee it, because it is full on winter, even though it's technically fall. It is full on winter in Calgary right now. Traffic is backed up. People are going slow. People are sliding around. It's a snowy day. That might make for some amazing photos though, provided that I can actually see the street. I hope it's not that whiteout condition, but I won't know until I get there. And that is just how a fortnight has been. I don't know until I get there. I don't know until the film comes out of the tank. There's always, almost every single day, there has been an unknown. And I told myself at the beginning of this that I was going to challenge myself, and I have definitely challenged myself for this. But yeah, trusty Tri-X, given to me by Josh, who you met briefly yesterday. Thanks again, Josh. Really appreciate it. So yeah, for one last time on this marathon, nothing to do now, but get this camera loaded.
This violet sky, I've seen it before. It turns truth into lies. Oh, but I won't back down. I must stay on this road. I gotta know what I'm about. It goes up and turns back down. We're all looking for the moment when getting used to not knowing when all the pieces fall in line. Oh, it goes up and turns back down. I keep searching for signs in my dreams back then, and I don't know how to stop, 'cause it brings back the feeling that I can't reach the top now, even if I don't know how. It brings back the feeling that even if it all goes down, in the end I'll be alright. It brings back the
One advantage of the pandemic is I get the whole elevator to myself. You don't get a glass window, but you do get this very pre-recorded, very green view from the outside. This is what it would look like if it was July. But it's not. It's a winter wonderland up top. That is hilarious. Last time I was up here, I thought this was a live view. It is not. Stand on the glass spot. Oh my god. Every time. I'm still the only one up here, which is awesome. Don't know how much longer that's gonna last. just like that, guys, I'm done. I obviously hope these turn out. If you're seeing this, then they turned out, at least somewhat. I did overexpose some shots, but I just shot at the exposure on other shots. So I might have something a little underexposed. I know I have one shot totally overexposed because I had incident meter reading and not spot meter reading on. But yeah, nothing to do now but get home and get this film developed. Here we are, folks. Last day, final wash, final wash, final reveal. And I gotta say, even though I've been using a safe camera with a safe developer and a safe film, I was nervous up there. I've shot from the Calgary Tower before, but not in the snow and not medium format. So, man, I'm assuming I've got at least a couple here that are not exposed properly. One that I know for absolute certain because I had the light meter, like I had the spot meter up to my eye, but it was set on incident, so it was metering that way. I figured it out after only a single frame, and I was actually relieved. I was like, oh, thank God the lighting isn't as low as it seemed, because I was getting like 1/30th of a second. Okay, I'm gonna pop this bad boy into my special photo flow jug, and then the big reveal. I have to remind myself that the negatives are gonna be very dark, no matter what, because it was, as you saw, like whiteout conditions. Anyway, here we go. Wish me luck, guys. Definitely a little on the overexposed side, especially that first one. But we have negatives. I am cautiously optimistic. I realize that my exposure is not going to be perfect here. But again, like I just told myself literally a minute ago, and you guys, they are going to appear overexposed because it's whiteout conditions. So I'll have to wait until these dry and I get them scanned in. You won't have to. Here are today's highlights and my contact sheet. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed those. I certainly did. I think there are some really cool angles there and some interesting subject matter. Most notably, the construction workers on the roof with the train. I thought that was just the coolest thing. And it was one of the few times I took 2 exposures just to make sure I got it. There are a couple of caveats though. These images didn't turn out perfect. First off, I think I overexposed most of them. I think I overcompensated for the overexposure of the snow. I think that limiting myself to only 10 shots was super challenging, especially when I got up there and it was all by myself for like maybe the first 5 minutes, and I sort of panicked. I was like, oh, I'm by myself. I should just go crazy. And I didn't slow down. I didn't double check my meter, that sort of thing. If I had just slowed down and took a deep breath, I think I would have done a lot better in those moments. Overall, too, I think I rushed a little bit. If I had slowed down, I would have ended up having the place to myself again. The crowd that was there was not likely going to be there for a very long time. And the ticket bought you an hour. It got you an hour there. And even though there was only maybe a dozen people, including me there, I felt this unseen pressure to get it done so I could get home and see how they look. And it's silly, but that's the truth. Regardless, though, I still got a decent amount of highlights for a 10 exposure roll. The other issue that came up is that there was some leakage, totally unexpected, because it's a fresh roll. There was definitely light leaks coming from both ends of the roll, and the only explanation that I can think of is when I held it up to the camera and exposed it to my studio light right here. And that's a little frustrating and pretty stupid on my part. I mean, the films do say load in subdued light, but a minor correction with a gradient filter in Lightroom pretty much took care of it. So I'll just have to decide how I'd handle that in the darkroom, either by doing a similar gradient type deal by burning it into the image, or just cropping it out altogether. I think I would be more upset if I hadn't had that blank roll on the day that shall not be named. But that experience sort of reset the bar on what I truly get upset about. I'll admit, when I was scanning them in, I was getting really ticked, but I'm like, calm down, just wait until you see what you can do with it. And it turned out to be really a non-issue in the greater scheme of things. And I think you'll agree, these images are really, really cool looking. Having the snow come in, it was a bittersweet gift. So that wraps it up, guys. And that is the end of day 17 of 17 for A Fortnight of Film. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope if you caught it during the marathon that it turned into a routine for a little while and it was fun to like grab your coffee and slice of pizza, whatever, and just sit down and watch me every day. Or if you're watching this further down the line, I hope you had a great evening just binge watching them all. I've heard people are still binge watching 30 Days a Night, which is honestly super surprising to me. This series has taught me a whole lot. It has taught me a whole lot as far as my workflow as a person and my workflow in the darkroom and how to handle unexpected results. And it's given me a lot of things to be grateful for. The generosity from everyone who's watched and liked the videos and commented and donated film and money and their time. It's really amazing. I want to talk more about that, but I want to give myself some time to digest everything and make sure I articulate myself properly. So I'm going to take a few days and just chill out and edit the last of these videos, because right now the last video that's edited is day 15. I've still got 16 and 17 to do. Obviously, I haven't edited this video yet. I'm recording it right now. But yeah, I want to make a few more videos about these videos. I want to address your comments. I want to look back and reflect on the whole series and list out what I've learned. And I want to tell you what I'm going to do with the channel moving forward, because I really like this format. I have been doing this super scripted format for episodes for a while, and this is the opposite of that. If you weren't aware, I'm shooting everything on my cell phone, and someone said in the comments once that I'm a bad videographer. I don't think they realized everything was done on my cell phone. I think the video to me is a means to an end. If you liked my videography, well, that's just even more of a compliment. But yeah, those are the things that I want to do. I want to address your comments on camera, and I want to tell you everything that I've learned with my workflow out here and in here. And then I want to tell you what I'm doing moving forward as a channel. So give me a few days, maybe a week, and I'll put out that video letting you guys know what's next. And until next time, stay classic.
Always on tonight. Throw that thing from left, right, side to side. Yeah. All my friends are here. Play my favorite song right on top. Yeah. And we never stop. Music bumping, we just keep on rolling. Yeah. No, we never stop. Shake, shake, shake your honey till the morning. Let me hear you say I'm ready. Come on, now slide, slide, slide to the bar. Shine, shine, shine like a star. Let me hear you say I'm ready. Come on, now slide, slide, slide to the bar. Shine, shine, shine like a star. Yeah, I said I wanna see you slide, slide, slide. I said I wanna see you shine, shine, shine. Always on tonight. Throw that thing from left, right, side to side. Yeah. All my friends are here. Play my favorite song right on time. Ooh, and we never stop. Music pumping, we just keep on rolling. No, we never stop. Shake, shake, shake your honey till the morning. Let me hear you say I'm ready. Come on, now slide, slide, slide to the bar. Shine, shine, shine like a star. Let me hear you say I'm ready. Come on, now slide, slide, slide to the bar. Shine, shine, shine like a star.